Perfect. All right. So, what episode number is this?
Made in Chafford podcast, episode 58. We back. We
I
back
love.
in the building. We back.
Yo, love to see it
hmm
with a guest this time. When was the last time we had? It feels like a while since we had a guest, but I guess maybe I'm wrong.
Special occasions
Um,
only, isn't it?
yeah, you know what I mean. Special occasions only. Let the guests introduce themselves. Amina, oh, I've already introduced her. Now I'm gonna mess it up.
Well done, man.
Amina, introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are. Like I know who you are, but obviously tell them just in case they don't know.
Okay, hi guys. I am Amina, and I'm a social media content creator. And I do other things as well, but yeah, that's basically what I do. Okay, so yeah.
Love it. So good. Like I was saying before we started, I was just so happy we was able to get this episode patterned. And I'm honestly grateful to you for coming on. Boys, introduce yourself as well.
Cool. Cole Sanusi in the building in the cut, as per usual.
What's the AKAs? Were you not letting them fly?
I got a big 4L, aka actually no, big 2L actually, because obviously the 2Ls in the Collins, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's all I got so far. I need to work on my AKAs, my aliases.
That's
my alias.
That's really new. That's really new.
Go on,
it's
yeah.
not enough. It's not enough.
It's Eman.
Big 2Ls.
I'm here in it. I only have one L in the name. But you know, players mess up. Other than that, man,
players mess up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, everything good, man.
Love that. And I'm Demi, aka Two Dems, aka the real is back. The real is back. Okay, so I just wanted to start off by speaking to Amina about her YouTube career, and she's an OG in this YouTube game. Like her channel is it's been around for a long time. That's how I found her anyway. So when we was able to get this sorted, I was like really ecstatic. Amina, just talk us through like your success and career on YouTube, and obviously like even people have watched you grow because even you interact a lot with your daughter on there. Like it's a real insight into your life.
Yeah, no, it's so weird. Like when you guys sent me an email about the topics we're going to talk about in the podcast, and the first bullet point said YouTube career. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I literally thought, what YouTube career? So I was thinking, I actually don't see myself as a YouTuber per se. I kind of just see it as I just make random videos and then I put it on YouTube and people tend to enjoy it. Sometimes it gets views, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't really see myself as a YouTuber because I always I started making videos on YouTube because of just wanting to share things that I was interested in and things that I like. I didn't really understand what the YouTube world was or see it as a career in a sense. I know a lot of people who I would say are YouTubers because they genuinely see themselves as a YouTuber. This is their career. This is what they do. They does this. Whereas for me, it's always been, and it kind of still is I just make random videos when I feel like it and I put it up on YouTube and somehow I get subscribers, somehow I get on some of the videos. But I've never taken it like very seriously. I don't know if that's something that I want to change or if it's something that might change later on down the line. But I literally just started making videos because I wanted to kind of share random things about stuff that I was interested in or stuff that I liked. So that's my vlogging camera making me beeping. I'm vlogging at the moment, but yeah, so I kind of just wanted to do it just for the sake of just having a platform to put these random videos. And then I decided to, I think what kind of kicked off my channel was when I one day, again, just randomly decided to share the story of how I told my Nigerian mum that I was pregnant at 17. And that video was so random, like it wasn't pre-planned or anything. And I remember I started telling the story, and then I realized that my daughter was in the background, like in the same room, but on my bed. She was like lying on my bed. I don't know what she was doing. And as I was telling the story, I was thinking, wait, do you want to be here for this? Like, I have to turn back and I really in the room. And then she's like, yeah, I actually want to hear this. Like, how did you meet my dad? Like, how did this actually happen? And then she was in the background saying, oh, let me go get some snacks. And
Get some snacks.
and I ended up filming the video and I put it up, and it literally got so many views. And then people were like sharing it and all this kind of stuff. I was thinking, wow, this video is really blowing up. Like, I didn't understand why it was blowing up so much. But people just like the fact that, you know, it was just so random. And just the way that my daughter reacted to me telling the story was just like, wait, is that your daughter there in the background? Like, she's like interested to hear the story as well.
It's real life stuff. That's what people want to see, is that as well. But that's so crazy to just think that, it's just something that you do on the side, in the sense that it's not. What would you say is your main goal? Like, because obviously you're pretty big on Instagram as well. There's no secret there with 80,000+ followers. I can't even imagine having that many followers. Like, that's insane to me. And then also pretty successful on Twitter. So what is your main goal? Plus the success you have on YouTube as well.
I don't know. I feel like it's just me sharing what parts of my life I think might, you know, be helpful to other people. A long time people didn't know that I had a child, and then people then knew that I had a child from following me, and then people didn't know who my child was, and then it got to a point where, you know, I then shared my daughter's Instagram, because for a long time I didn't want to share her Instagram. She had Instagram, but I was protective of her because I know what social
I got that.
And she was still quite young, and I didn't know how she would be able to handle that kind of attention. And then, you know, when she got to a point where she felt more confident in herself and she was happy for me to share her Instagram, I shared it. And then she started growing her own following of people.
Yeah, it's crazy because that's nepotism working positively, because you even managed to help her. Like, she's even big in her own right. Like, you know, people. First time I saw you two, I thought, you two are sisters. But
yeah, we get that a lot. We do that a lot. Like, no one ever thinks that if you meet us in person, you wouldn't like straight away think that we're mother and daughter. You think we're friends, or we're cousins, or we're sisters, or something like that. I remember one time actually when she was in school and I went to go and pick her up. This is when she was like in primary school, and the teacher came out and saw me, and she was like, "Oh, who are you here to pick up?" And I said, "Netanya." And then she was like, she popped with confidence, full on confidence, with her whole chest and vim. "Netanya, your sister's here to get you." And I was like, "Oh no, wow. I'm her mum." And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Like, she didn't even try to ask or check that. She just knew that, like, I'm her sister. That's the only explanation.
It's the Nigerian genes, man. That's what it is.
Hey, listen, black don't crack for real.
Yeah,
there's a reason it's the same. But yeah, that's. I mean, so yeah, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, no, like she just got her. She started her own YouTube channel, and you know, she's got her own subscribers and her Instagram. She's got her own followers as well. And I'm glad that she's able to create her own platform as well, because I think, especially as Black people, I think it's important to take advantage of nepotism. Like, I think it's okay to put your family and your children on, you know, because everyone else that's non-Black does it.
100%.
Why is it that Black people can't do the same? Why do
even to the point, like, even to the point, I feel like within the Black community, nepotism is almost viewed as bad. Like, I don't get why, because like you said, every other skin color is able to do it. You know, you see successful white people be able to give their son a job at their own company and put him on crazy salaries. So, like, why? That's even something I'd want to be able to do for my child. I believe that, you know, this podcast will be massive one day. And if, you know, I'd want to be able to give my own child the success that I would have enjoyed. It just doesn't make sense to me. But the fact you've been able to do that for your daughter is wonderful.
Yeah,
And
I think it's important because it's not every day
mm,
struggle. It's not every day that, you know, our
facts.
children must experience the same struggle we did. Like, no,
Mm,
like you want better for your children. If you're in a position to provide that, then you're gonna do that, you know?
It's a fact.
mm. Okay, so how do you? I guess my question is, how do you cope with all of the? I don't know. Fame might be the wrong word, but like, it must be a lot of pressure at times because I guess you got to watch what you say when you say it. Everything's timed. You know, you have to if you're gonna drop a picture. I'm sure you know all the social media tricks. Like, if you're gonna drop a picture, make sure to drop it at 6 on a Sunday because that's when everyone's online. Like,
Yeah.
What's it like dealing with that pressure?
You know what, it's when social media is your job, you do have to always like think about stuff like this, like what time to post your
Mm,
picture content, and when's the best time, when's your engagement good, and all of this kind of stuff. You can't just post like, you know, like normal people. Like, you can't just sometimes I just want to post, like it's not every day calculating my
Facts.
post all the time. Like, I don't want to think too deeply. I actually envy people who don't have like a social media platform as such, and they
Mm,
just freely post whatever and whenever they like. But it's kind of ingrained into me now, so I'm
yeah.
always kind of thinking about what I want to post next, and also in terms of aesthetics as well. So if
Mm,
there's a certain aesthetics going on my page or my feed, I know that I want to post this outfit next, or I want to post this look next, or whatever.
mm,
It's become part of me, so I don't know if I
Mhm.
could ever like not like just post anyhow anymore.
yeah.
But yeah, you just have to like, you get used to just thinking in that way when it comes to posting.
Mm,
And there can sometimes be pressure, especially with the whole algorithm issue on Instagram, and you're trying to like work around that so that you're still
mm,
engagement. And obviously if you're working with brands, and you know, you need brands to contact you, or you need to be able to reach out to brands in order to get work and be paid and sponsored to create content. You things like engagement is important to you, because
yeah.
the brands are going to look at in order to be like, yeah, you're worth this much for you to create content for us. And that's
Mm,
what you're going to use to pay your bills and feed your child and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, social media is hard work. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's not easy. Otherwise, everyone would have 100K followers, and everyone would have, you know, do you know what I mean?
facts.
But
Hmm.
it's work in itself. But when you enjoy what you do, which is, I think, even if I was a doctor or a scientist, or I don't know, doing any other job, I think I would still be
Mm,
posting pictures on Instagram and posting outfits and stuff like that. I think I'll still be creating content on social media. So
okay,
it's kind of part of me now.
I've got a question. So for us, say smaller platforms, because I'm sure there's going to be people listening to this who might not have platforms as big as you. What would be your biggest advice?
I think just keep creating content. Even
Mm,
for me, where, you know, if when the algorithms are a bit mad and your followers aren't seeing your content, and you sometimes feel like, I'm putting in all this work to create this content, all this time, all this effort in, you know, taking pictures, making videos, editing, and setting everything up, and like there's a lot of different hats that you have to put on to create the content, and then you put
mm,
it out, and like your followers aren't seeing it, or people aren't watching it and stuff like that. It can be disheartening, like to be completely honest. You can feel like, what's the point? But you
mm,
have to keep going. Like, if this is something that you enjoy doing, you just have to keep pushing through and keep going and keep going and keep going. And then you might get that one piece of content or that one video that does blow up, or that does get views or whatever, and that,
mm,
you know, the momentum to keep going. But you can't like get too stuck on numbers, otherwise honestly you will stress yourself out. You know, if you
yeah.
focus a lot on numbers and views and stuff like that, sometimes it can be a bit too much, and then you end up doing things for views and for likes, as opposed to, this is genuine content that you genuinely enjoy creating and
Mm,
enjoy putting out.
Yeah.
And then it kind of defeats the purpose of what you initially set out to do in the first place. So it's
yeah.
trying to find that balance of creating content that you enjoy and that you like and that you know that your followers like, but also being aware of, you know, the content you are making and how that's engaging with your followers and how you want to continue to grow. But I found with Instagram, even if you might not get the likes that you feel you deserve on a particular post, you just have to keep going, keep posting, keep posting. Because once you stop posting, Instagram basically tells your followers that you don't exist at this point.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of push through and just make sure that what you're posting is what you like. So whether people like it or not, I like this picture, I like this piece of content, and it's staying up and I'm putting it up. So whether you see it or not, maybe some point somebody will see it. I personally like it, so I'm going to put it out there. So, yeah.
Got you. That's perfect. All right. So the next topic we want to discuss.
I've got one question just before we
go
on to it. Who would you say, like, in your mood board, like, what would you say your YouTubers are? Like, who do you inspire to be on YouTube? Like,
I don't actually have anyone like that.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah, when I watch, because I for a long time I didn't watch YouTube. I think I probably was quite late on YouTube. I know that some people had been watching YouTube. They've been watching all the OG YouTubers from 10 years ago. Like they've always known about YouTube. And I thought I was late to YouTube because I grew up, even with Instagram, I grew up without social media. So I'm 35. So when social media came out is when I just finished, when Facebook started. I think I just finished secondary school when Facebook came out. So I had my whole teen years with no social media. So when like I left school and I started college and stuff, and then Facebook started, I think that's the year, I can't remember properly, but when Facebook started, it took me ages to even have Facebook. And then by the time I discovered what Instagram was, like all of my friends and people that I knew, or most people, were already on Instagram, already had 10K followers and stuff like that. Whereas I didn't know what Instagram was. I just came onto Instagram to post outfits that I got from charity shops because I was really passionate about thrifting and cheap and cheerful shopping and looking good for less. So I just decided to go on Instagram so I can post outfits of my, £1 top that I got from a charity shop or from a thrift store. And that's how my following grew, because people were like, who's this girl coming on here telling us her top is £1 from Oxfam? Like, who does that? But I didn't know, like, it was, I didn't think of it as anything. I'm just like, oh, here's a platform I can post pictures. Let me post pictures on here. And it was mainly like people that I knew that were following me. So I kind of grew from there, but I never really wasn't into social media like that. So by the time I started actually watching YouTube, even in my YouTube channel, I started it not knowing anyone else on YouTube. I didn't watch anyone on YouTube. I just knew that YouTube was a platform where you can make videos and you can put it on there, and then somehow people watch it. So I started making videos of me going out shopping with £20 budget and seeing what outfits I can find for £20 or how much clothes I can buy for £20. And I just used to put it up on there, not knowing if anyone was going to see it. Like, I just did it, so I wasn't watching anyone. And then gradually over the coming years, that's when I started discovering people like Patricia Bright, Jenny Jenkins, Shirley, and I started seeing that, and I think it's even in hand with Instagram, because there were people that already had a following, even Brini Lee, they all had a following, and I realized that they also had this platform on YouTube as well. And that's when I started watching YouTube, and I was like, oh, there's these other black girls on YouTube that I can watch, and they do makeup and they do hair and all this. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So I never really kind of had like an aspiration to be like this person on YouTube, because I never really, as I said, saw YouTube as like a career per se. But now that I do watch YouTube, I think now most of us, the only things we watch is Netflix and YouTube at this point. Nobody watches TV anymore. I do have YouTubers that I do enjoy watching, people like Nella Rose, Adiola Patron, Patricia Bright. There's a lady called Aaliyah from the States, and there's loads of other people that I watch as well. But I think for me, what I enjoy about those type of content creators is just their realness and just them being themselves. I enjoy, and them just sharing their lives and their humor their personality, their bubbliness, and these are all people that I can relate to because their personality is something that I like because that's how I am, bubbly, just be myself. I'm not scared to laugh at myself. I'm not scared to be silly. I'm not scared to not take myself seriously. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I enjoy about watching those type of content creators. So I think if I was to say that what I aspire to be is just to be myself, just be someone that makes content where I'm just being myself, showing who I am, not taking myself too seriously, having fun with it, and also just being able to share topics that I'm passionate about. Like, I don't know if you've seen some of my videos, I talk about celibacy a lot because that's something that I'm passionate about. I've been celibate for 15 years. So I like to kind of share that side of me because that's a huge part of what I do and what I believe in as well. And that's what that's my goal, to just be myself and create content that I think is helpful to other people.
No, I love that. So, going on to the next topic, Amina, you're going to this place shortly after when we finished. So I wanted to discuss everyone's, and I think most of us have all had an experience at the gym or go to the gym anyway. So I wanted to discuss our biggest gym pet peeves.
Is it our gym Icks, yeah?
Yeah, gym Icks, man. You know the man them that are there and they're just taking time on it could be they're sitting on the instrument you want to use and they're just taking time. Eman's about to get into it.
I am. Do you know? It's crazy. Well, it's not a safe space because it's gonna go out everywhere.
Nothing safe.
Nah. So just before, I would say October 2018, I would say I was probably at is it 2018? No, 2019. Sorry. Yeah. So basically, last year October, I just had an injury in the gym, so at that time I couldn't really go back into the gym just yet. I had to relax and then I had to deload and then go back and then gradually build up. But some of the things I saw in the gym, I hurt my back, so one of the things I wanted to work on was my abs, my core. And then I would see a brother, he would do one set and then take 15 pictures of himself. And it's bro, how many more sets you got? It's I've got 3 sets to do. It's bro, okay, cool. Can you at least hurry up? So then I go into another machine, I do whatever I need to do. And then I go into another machine, I do cables and whatever. And he's still on his freaking second set. And I'm like, bro, you're really
taking the piss.
You're testing my patience right now.
Yeah, testing my patience.
You test my patience. You can't go that far. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's just certain things. It's just funny. It's just funny to see in the gym. What are your experiences? Because I've just shared one.
You know, one I hate the most. The one I hate the most, is when people decide to use 2 machines at once. So, for example, they'll have the squat rack.
2 sets.
Yeah, so I have the squat rack, and then they'll have a bench in front of them, and you'd be like, "Hey, would I be able to use a squat rack?" They're like, "Nah, I'm using that." Yeah, and then that's fine. You go over to the bench, "Yeah, I'm using that too." It's are you Superman? Why are you using both? It doesn't make any sense. At least dedicate your time to one, so that people.
I never understood that as well.
Makes no sense.
2 machines at the same time. Just do your set on this one and then do your do you know what I mean?
It makes no sense to me.
I feel like the villain here because I'd be supersetting. Or at least I was.
Get this guy out of here.
Moist!
Who this man?
You are the one.
It is me. I am the one.
Do you guys ever get those? Do you guys ever get those people who even want to be your give you advice or be a PT for you? So you'll be doing your sets and they come up to you "Oh, big man, you're not doing that properly. This is how you." And you're like, "Oh, here we go."
I do, you know.
I get the opposite of them asking me what they should do. I'm the PT, and I'm just okay. I've had that a couple of times where girls, not men, girls would girls would come up and be like, "Oh, so how do I use what you just used?" And I was like, okay, and I'd try and talk them through it, or they'll ask me, how have I always looked like this? And I'd be like, no, not really. I've had a little bit of work done, but I do come to the gym 3 times a week, and this is what I work on, kind of thing. But what is one of my pet peeves is actually, like, it goes with that, is just people trying to have a conversation while you're at the gym.
Oh man.
Oh, bro.
Listen, my friends, you know what, Amina, we've got enough friends, we love them, but if I see them at the gym,
It's curtains.
Listen, I'm trying to do something on my ones, and then all of a sudden, you just come like 15-minute conversation. It's like, bro, I'm on like second set, I've got 2 more.
I want to draw them out, but I can't.
Yeah, and you don't want to be rude as well, but I'm just like, because the thing is, when I enter the gym, I'm zoned out. Like, I don't even know what time it is. Sometimes I'll be in the gym for 2 hours, and I didn't realize that 2 hours has gone by because I've got my headphones in or my earphones, and I'm completely zoned out. I'm doing whatever it is I want to do. So having someone come up to you and then they're trying to start a whole conversation, it's like,
no, it's mad.
Breaking up my vibe here. Like, I just need to do what I need to do. And
it's disrespectful, honestly. Cole, you already know the fence.
I know. That's why I'm laughing.
And you get the guys that try to move to you as well at the gym.
Yo, there's a time and a place, man.
Hey, man.
I'm just like, I don't know. I'm in 2 minds. I'm just like, don't, like, it's weird. It's just weird because I'm working out and you have been looking at me thinking that you want to move to me. So I'm thinking, instead of you to be focusing on what you're doing, you've been watching me doing what I'm doing. So that's kind of like, it's a bit, I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what it is, yeah? All right.
Nah.
So, no.
Eman's been that person for sure.
No, listen, when it comes to the gym, I'm also full focused as well. Like, I'm in full beast mode. Like, if I'm doing something, I'm doing something. Do you know what I'm saying? But there is that 30 seconds rest period where you're just looking around. You get what I'm saying? So it might just be that, and you just catch eyes. Do you get what I'm saying? I've got to shoot him some bell. Like, I've got to shoot him some bell because sometimes you just need to be like, yo, like, you're doing good, you know?
You're doing good, you know. Wow.
That's a pretty good weight. Like, yeah.
Right, following out of the gym as well. And that was weird as well. When I've left the gym and the guy followed me out of the gym. Like, he hasn't finished whatever he's doing, but he's seen me leave and then he's followed me out of the gym.
Ridiculous.
There's no need for that.
To talk to me.
Especially, you know what? If you're at pure gym, you're taking the time to do that because then you've got to put the code back in and everything to go back to your machine. You're a waste, man.
You knew what it was doing.
My mum was trying to come through
that. You have to stand
007.
on the thing as well. You have to stand just.
Sometimes you don't even be getting the code right in the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
He's an idiot.
Yeah,
I hope he didn't get back in.
The effort, but I don't know. Is this whole gym environment for moving to girls? We need to find a way to.
I just don't think it's such a weird place to move to girls.
Yeah, it's probably
very strange. And some girls like it; they don't mind it. Some girls think it's a bit weird. So
if I was a girl, I think I'd hate it. But
I think it's because even like just for girls in general, just to being in the gym, I assume it can be slightly intimidating at certain times. So for that to be an extra thing to think about.
You've got man like arms looking at you.
Guys watching you as you're like bending over and squatting, and you might think, there's something very pervy about it. Because you're going there to work out, and a guy's watching you, and it's like, I don't know, like, it's just really weird. It's a very uncomfortable feeling to have a guy looking at you while you're trying to work out. Yeah,
that's why I guess like female only gyms do make sense. Like, I didn't get it because there was one in Canterbury when we went to uni, and I didn't get it. So I asked a friend, like, you know, it just doesn't make sense. And they explained it to me. I was like, okay, you know what? I immediately got it, and I was like, all right, cool. I see what you man are on. Do your thing, ladies. Squat in peace.
I understand, that men are men, innit? Men are visual creatures. But it's the length of time that you're staring. So you can go to the gym and see a girl that you think is attractive. You can look, obviously, sometimes your eyes will...
Amina's giving us the how to pattern up. I love it.
Yeah, no, I'm not that guy then. I'm not that guy. Like, I was trying to shoot them some bail, but I'm definitely not that guy. Yeah, like, I'll see you. I was like, cool, whatever.
Yeah, but not like staring, like, and you can feel the end. You can feel the eyeballs on you, like you can feel the
Nah.
energy of the.
Yo, Teresa, I'm praying I don't do this.
Going on in his head. I'm just like, no, like, don't you need to, like, there's a way of doing it that make the other person uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? So,
do you know what also annoys me? I don't know if you man get this or you get this, Amina, but when they ask if they can jump in, like, nah, I'm doing my set. Say you say, oh, I've got 3 more left, and they're like, oh, can I jump in with you?
Yeah. I've had that before, and I'm like,
I'm almost done, mate. Come on.
nah, I'm nearly finished.
It's even worse when they do it wrong.
Yeah, and it's like, why am I taking turns with a complete
Or
stranger?
they're not.
I have done it once though, because I felt bad, and I did, and it was quite busy, so I did like take turns with this other guy.
I think if the gym's busy, it's fine, but if it's quiet, no. Or do you know what annoys me more about it is the fact, say they're not as strong as you, or you're not as strong as them, and they're just bare changing the weights. It's like, oh, come on, man. And then you have to put more racks on, or you have to take the racks off when it's your turn. We've not saved time here. If anything, we've wasted it.
It's true. It's better to just wait for the person to be done, and then.
No, it's ridiculous. The gym is a very weird place, yet we still continue to go.
For sure.
Because you gotta get them gains, you
Gotta
know.
get them somehow.
Gotta maintain the body.
Pump that iron. But no,
Have you had like old people come and try and give you wisdom?
I used to have
in
that.
what sense?
They just come and talk to you like, yeah, man, like I used to be big as well, this and that. Like,
Yeah, I definitely
like
had that.
if you really want to get big, this is what you should do. You know, do a couple more sets.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You're my guy. I'm trying to get out of here, man. Love Island's on. That one's there. All right. So, next topic is motherhood. But I guess the reason I wanted to ask is because all 3 of us, the boys in the conversation at the moment, are 25. So I thought it would be an interesting time to discuss how we'd also approach fatherhood, whilst also speaking to Amina about how she's approached motherhood. So yeah, someone take the floor. Collins, I'm actually interested to see what you'd be like as a dad. I was thinking this the other day.
Why me?
Whoa.
Why
you're trying to make the block hot? What's going on? Nah,
I was just thinking about it.
Nah, it's a good question. The way I see it, I think you got to look at obviously the things that your parents have done, but also kind of look at the things that did good, the things that did bad, and also what you've learned along the way. So I think there are certain things I definitely will take from my parents, but then there's also things I'm definitely not going to do. But overall, I just do think, like, as a general view of it, it's just good to have like dialogue. Do you know what I mean? Just actually being able to speak to your kid, and
that's a fact.
Not necessarily treating them like they're your friend, but just making sure your presence is felt. Because if your presence is not felt, they're going to search for that vindication somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that's something I think is probably something I'm definitely going to try to implement. Because you don't want your kid feeling like they don't have a dad, because that happens so much, especially in our cultures and stuff like that. You don't want to create the same mistakes that the generation before you have created. So that's the way I look at it at the moment. Obviously, I'm not there yet, but when the time comes, I'm sure I'll be able to.
Big 2-5. It's things you got to start thinking about.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah. No, but that's actually so cool that you said that, because when I had my daughter, that's literally like one of the main things that I was very adamant about in terms of being able to be a mum, that my daughter can tell me anything. I grew up in a Nigerian household. My mum was working a lot, and a lot of the times I was at home by myself, gallivanting, playing out with my cousins and stuff like that. So my mum wasn't very like open in terms of me being able to talk to her about stuff, especially things like sex and stuff like that. Although she was quite comfortable with me having a boyfriend until I got pregnant. We never had that sex conversation. I think the first time we spoke about sex, this is after she already knew I had a boyfriend, which is my daughter's dad, and I was in the kitchen just loading the washing machine or something like that, and she just walked in and she was like, "You better not be having any sex." And I was like, no. And then that was it. That was the conversation. Meanwhile, I already lost my virginity at that point. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was the conversation about sex between me and my mum. That was it. So when I had my daughter, I was very much like, okay, I grew up knowing, I knew my mum loved me and everything like that, and she was very much hardworking. But I didn't get that emotional relationship from her the way that I would have liked. So with my daughter, I always wanted to encourage her to be able to talk to me about stuff and have that connection, even before she was even able to like put sentences together. When I used to pick her up from nursery, and she would just be like, you know how babies will just be like little toddlers, just be babbling on about stuff, and I'll ask her like, how was your day at nursery? I don't know what the hell she's talking about, but I'll just let her just talk.
Just talking.
Ramble on in her little baby language and just trying to put sentences together, but I just let her talk. So I kind of continued that as she was, you know, going to, you know, primary school and secondary school, and now she's in sixth form. And she now, like, she's always been quite chatty anyway. She's a very chatty kind of girl. So she would just naturally just tell me stuff. Like, she would just like, oh, mum, when she comes in from school, or even if she doesn't have school and it's a weekend and she's gone out with her friends, when she comes in, she's like, oh, mum, so this is what happened, yeah? Like, she's already ready to tell me whatever it is that she wants to tell me without me really having to ask her. And I think that's so important, because, you know, as much as she might have her friends and her peers to talk to about certain things, she's at a point where she feels like, okay, I can talk to my friends about this, but I really wanted to know what my mum's got to say about it. I really want to like get my mum's thoughts on this as well. And that's what I do love that about our relationship, and how she views me as her mum, that regardless of, you know, if she Googles something that she's like, you know, not sure of, or, you know, it could be small things like, you know, her wanting to buy a top and or a product, and she's read the reviews online, and then she's asked her friends, she'll still come and ask me that, oh, mum, what do you think about this? Do you know what I mean? There's just the little things that relate into bigger, serious things when it comes to more of the awkward conversations as well. So yeah, I think that's super, super important.
Just important to have a dialogue with them, really, isn't it? Or at least, you know, be able to speak to them. Eman, what about you? How do you think you're going to approach fatherhood?
Well, what's been going on for the past, I would say, for like mainly half of this year. My dad will get a group of his friends, and we'll just have like a regular meeting, and these are like certain topics that we'll be talking about, like fatherhood, marriage, growing up with your kids, how to raise your, like, just normal conversations, but just for the men. So from like my dad's response about like the way I would answer questions, he's very positive on how I would raise up kids. But then again, like it's uncharted territory for me.
It's uncharted, yeah. It's not something you can ever prepare yourself for, really, is it?
It's not. No, you definitely have an idea. So, for example, what Collins has said, I mean, it's pretty much, you know, there are some things I'll definitely implement, and there's some things I definitely will not. Do you get what I'm saying? But you know, I'll probably be a cool dad. I mean, there's certain information that I'm even looking at, like when they're speaking about like certain figures in the hip hop industry, especially when they're speaking about fatherhood. Some of them are just saying like, yeah, like when he's my child, when he's in my house, he's my best mate, you know, but the moment he leaves my house, he's got to leave my house and become his own man. So I'll have to take that into perspective, because of course you're raising up children, you know, to the best that you can, but more importantly, you're raising up to go into the world to be their own. Do you get what I'm saying? So for the women, you have to raise them up to make sure that they can take care of themselves. The men, they can definitely take care of themselves, so they can take care, you know, of other responsibilities. So such as if they were to go on and have family. Do you know what I'm saying? So those things will have to be in the very foundation in the very beginning, like installed in my kids.
No, I hear that. Sounds like the best way to go about it, really. It's I guess because it's like Eman said, it is uncharted territory. You can prepare yourself all you want, but when that you is there, it's like, what do you actually do with it?
When
Like,
that you is there, you know.
I
That's your child.
don't know how to carry it.
Man just carrying it like by his shoulder.
I'm carrying it like a basketball over the head. And you like to my wife, is this right? I think it's right. It feels right.
You're silly.
I know, it's so funny though, because sometimes we tend to think, okay, there's certain things that I'm gonna do or I'm not gonna do because this person done that, and you know, my parent did this, and I'm definitely not gonna do that. But even me, sometimes, Seth, like sometimes I see my mum in me, and there's certain things that my mum did, and I would do it to my daughter, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm turning into my mum. But then, although the thing is, when you was younger, you think, nah, definitely not gonna do that because I'm not doing that. But then, when you're actually the parent and you're dealing with a situation, and you're like, okay, like this is what I'm gonna do. You do tend to sometimes do things that your parents did because when they did it,
It worked.
younger, you didn't understand why they were being like that, but it kind of worked. And then now that you're in their shoes, you're like, no, actually, I'm going to do that because I know that it actually works. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, not everything, not like the toxic stuff or anything like that, but there is certain like tricks that our parents did have that actually we might not like subconsciously known that it worked. But
it's even, I think the older you get as well, you notice things that it might have been jarring at the time, like, I just want to go out and be with my friends, and they'll give you a curfew and be like, oh, please be back by 11. And I'm a big man, I can handle myself at 16. But now you know why they were like, you can see, it's kind of scary to be like, yo, he's out past 11 on his own or with his friends. Like, you don't really know what they're getting up to. You don't, like, it's late, X, Y, and Z. And I think you start to realize that, okay, I see where they were coming from. Like, they weren't just trying to be jarring for jarring's sake.
Yeah. Actually trying to protect you at the same time. Or when they tell you not to like hang around certain friends or certain people, stuff like that. Like, I find
myself not being bad gang.
Yeah, exactly.
What gang is good?
When my daughter started secondary school, I was very much like that parent that was like, okay, you have to be careful with the friends that you pick and the friends that you roll with, and the kind of energy that they're giving off and their attitude towards schooling and education. Like, you have to take these things on board because you can't just like allow
it's a very slippery slope,
guide you in the wrong direction. It's actually a very real thing. So yeah, some things that our parents did were for our protection, even though we didn't realize that was the case at the time. We kind of just felt, oh, trying to stop my fun. But
have you had that moment? Have you had that moment where you told your daughter, when I was your age?
Well,
yes. Literally, I definitely had that moment. There was, I think, because like, I don't know if I was like coddling her or like being a little bit too overprotective over her, or just a little bit like weary about her going out with her friends or going certain places or doing certain things. But I would kind of, I think it was kind of me correcting myself, because I would say to her, like, when I was 7, my mum was sending me to Sainsbury's to go do the food shop for the house. At 7 years old, I'll get on the bus. And this is in Hackney, okay? This is Hackney back in the day, not Hackney now, that's gentrified.
Yeah, crazy.
The ghetto, back in the day, I would be able to like get on the bus as a 7, 8, 9-year-old, go do the shopping for the house and come back with no problems. But it's not the same now. Like, I can't send a 7-year-old to the shops like just anyhow nowadays because there's so much madness going on right now. So when my daughter was getting older and she wanted to like, you know, go out with her friends or do this or do that, I was very like, I don't know, I'm scared. Like, let's not do that just yet. Like, calm down. Where you went, like, that's too soon. I'm not ready for that part of your growing up yet. So I kind of had to like, you know, calm down and kind of release the reins a little bit, because you don't want to overdo it to the point where they have no street smarts at all.
That's a fact.
You know?
Yeah.
That balance of, okay, you can't protect them too much, because then when something does happen in the street, they don't know how to handle themselves, or they don't have a quick enough reaction to know what to do. So I've had to like get to a point where I'm just like, okay, you know what, I have to let her go out there and, you know, experience what she needs to experience, and also teach her the tools to know how to, you know, look after herself at the same time, as opposed to just locking her in a house forever, you know?
I get that. No, I think that's the best approach to it, really. And I think everyone said very interesting things on how they will approach it. It's just, yeah, again, it's just uncharted territory. But I think it's fair to say you've done a very good job in
Thank
raising
you.
your daughter. So, yeah. But it's just interesting to get someone else's opinion, because I think this is the first time we've had someone who is a parent on the show. So it was just something I wanted to speak about, and especially because, you know, it's no secret, we're getting older. You even go, every time I go on Facebook, I feel like someone else has had a kid.
That's
Like,
a
literally, I
fact.
put in the group chat, can't believe this guy's had a kid. He was a nutter in school, but he's now a dad. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think for guys, it's really important to be, like what Colin said initially, to be present. And make that a priority, to be present in your child's life, whether you're going to
especially in our culture as well, because I feel like a lot of dads feel like, well, you know, I put food on the table, I put clothes on your back, what else?
Yeah,
what more do you need?
Definitely. I think that's why, although I'm a single parent, I'm not with my daughter's dad. We've not been together since she was 2 years old, and she's 17 now. But she has a great relationship with her dad, regardless. Like, they're really close. They literally speak to each other on the phone every day. And spends a lot of time with her dad, especially on the weekends when she's not at school. So her dad has been able to still be present, even though he's not me in the relationship, but he's still doing what he needs to do as her dad.
You can't put a price on that.
His presence is known in her life.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I thank God for, that, you know, and that it's also helped her to remain very level-headed in her growing up as well, where she doesn't feel like she needs attention from boys. Like, she's not really, like a lot of her peers are, like, you know, hungry for boys' attention, and they're, you know, doing this and doing all sorts to try and, like, you know, get, like, be in that kind of vibe. Like, she's very back on stuff like that. She's not really like a point of interest to her. She's very much focused on her education, her career, what she wants to do with her life and stuff like that. Her mindset is different. And I definitely wasn't like that at her age. You know what I mean? Like, although, you know, her dad was my first boyfriend at 16, 17. And all of my friends already had boyfriends. Some already had babies already. My mindset was not like me thinking about my future. My mindset was, oh, what am I doing tomorrow? Or, like, you know, am I playing out tomorrow with friends? You know what I mean? Whereas she, and I think a lot of children in this generation are very, like, focused on their future, because they've got all these examples around them, and all this technology and things available to them that are kind of pushing them to want to think about their future and what they want to do with their lives and stuff like that. So she's very much that kind of mindset, and I believe that her relationship with her dad has helped her to be grounded in that sense, where she knows that, you know, this is how, you know, she can learn from her dad. There's things that, as much as I can be a great mum to her, I genuinely believe that there's certain things that I can't teach her because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
And I can't show her because I'm a woman. Whereas her dad and his presence in her life is teaching her and showing her those things. I might not understand it, and I might not see it personally, but between her and him, I know that she's learning and she's gaining from their relationship. And no one can, you know, replace that. I can't replace that as her mom. There's things that she'll learn from me because I'm a woman and she's a woman, but there's things that she will learn and understand from her relationship with her dad because he's a man. And there's nothing I can't take that position.
Yeah.
Really.
No, that makes sense. Very well said as well, I have to add. So fourth topic, I guess this is the slot where we save for just to discuss what's going on in the world or something that's going on. I mean, there's so many things we could have picked, but I think with three of us in the conversation being from Nigeria, and then Emmanuel also being from the continent, I think it's just important that I guess we all get our feelings out on what's going on back home and what else is going on the continent. I mean, I'll start. I just feel it's really tough to watch what's going on and feel like because you're in the UK, it's hard to feel like you can do anything, but you can see that it's so terrible. And I've never seen Nigeria be that bad. You hear stories and stuff like that, but I've never heard about it being that bad or the government moving like this. That this is ridiculous. People went out to peacefully protest, and they were shot at for just fighting for basic, like what we've all been doing this year to fight against police brutality. It's just crazy to me that this is something that's going on.
Yeah, it's actually so mad. I'm not even like someone that, I don't know, I think a lot of people might relate in the sense that although I'm Nigerian, I wouldn't say that I'm heavily cultured in my Nigerian culture, because although I was born in Nigeria, my mum came to the country when I was about 4 or 5 years old. So I spent most of my life basically in the UK. So I'm not that connected in terms of, my Nigerian heritage and the culture and the politics back there. But with this whole SARS situation, it really opened my eyes to life is really like in Nigeria for a lot of young people, which I didn't have a clue about. I think the most I've heard about Nigeria and what Nigeria is like is from my cousins that go there every December to get lit. Do you know what I mean? They go there for Christmas to party, to enjoy themselves, and I've heard stories of how lit it is back there, and that's what's kind of like been my motivation. Or I need to go. Like I haven't been, other than be able to see my family members that are there. My grandma, who practically raised me before my mum came to the UK, like I've not seen her in all these years because I've not been back. So I've always, in the back of my head, I'm always like, every year, like I'm always like thinking, I need to go back. I want to see my grandma. I want to spend time with my cousins who are like having this lit time during Christmas over there. I don't, although like they might hear stories of, there's kidnappers or people trying, get money from you because you're foreign. Yeah, okay, that's understandable. Things like that happen in places like Jamaica as well, when they know that they can smell that you're from abroad, and they try and like put them prices up for certain things to get more money or whatever. They're hustling or whatever. But I never saw it to the extent of what we've seen, where they're actually killing young people, robbing them, doing all kinds of madness on a day-to-day basis, like it's normal. And that's actually so wild to me.
I didn't even know this was taking place over there, and it was just crazy to me that this was something that was happening, and people were being punished and abused for, just being young, basically. Especially when you consider, I think over a large majority of Nigeria's population is young people. It's got like the highest young population in the world. I think something ridiculous, like 50% of Nigeria's population is 16. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna punish all of them? It's ridiculous to think how they're behaving. I think it's just important that we in the UK who are from Nigeria have these conversations, or even just from the continent as well, just have these conversations and actually highlight what's going on and educate people. Use it as a chance to educate people on what's going on, because obviously Congo is going through their own madness as well. Like it seems like a crazy time on the continent at the moment, and it's just, there's not something you can even think would have been going on, because it wasn't highlighted. Like I didn't even know this SARS existed until the protests started.
Same, yeah.
And it's a good thing that they're protesting against it. Cole, how do you feel about it?
I don't know about you two, but even Eman as well. Like you'd hear stories, I guess maybe from Nigeria, Tanzania. Like let's say there's the police force, and they'll necessarily have free reign. So, for example, you'll be driving, and then you get stopped at a border, and then the policeman will approach you and be like, "Hey, could I hold 20 naira, 30 naira?" And it's just like embedded in the culture to just be able to do that type of stuff. But then I'd hear stories like that and think nothing of it. My dad used to tell me that as well. But obviously, to this extent, where they're actually, killing people, exploiting people, taking people to cash points, taking their belongings. And I think there was a story about them like disposing bodies in a certain place. The police would actually round up the people that they killed and dispose them. Like some of the stories I've heard the past week has been insane. And to me, I just think it's hard because, like you said, we're not there. And like Amina, obviously, I don't necessarily have the same connection I do back home as I would like, to be honest, because I was born here, raised here. So they're part of my Nigerian culture, which as I got older, I began to like appreciate more. But now this week has really made me realize like, wow, now we literally have to just try to do something, because at the end of the day, like, we do live here, but this isn't our home. Do you know what I'm saying? And you know, people are seeing it around the world. People are trying to revolt and rebel. And one thing I did want to ask you guys and just be curious about is like, so obviously back, let's say if this happened 10 years ago, we wouldn't actually see the extent of what's going on, because the president has come out and said, oh, nothing has actually happened. But through the power of social media, you know, we're actually seeing clips, we're seeing people frontline with IG Live and stuff. Where do you guys think the line has to be drawn as far as, you know, sharing on social media? Because obviously some of it's explicit. You don't want to see that type of stuff on your feed. But it's powerful.
It's hard on the mental as well, you know.
Some of the things, like for example, the stuff that's happening in Congo, is things that's going on in Namibia. I have seen. Do you get what I'm saying? Things that are happening in Kenya, especially with the Chinese, I have seen. Like I'm looking at that stuff. I'm very much up to date. The only thing I wasn't really up to date with was with end SARS. Like that, to me it was a shock, because the way I see Nigeria as a Tanzanian is a completely different scale. Having a very large populace, being the young people, very much educated, very well educated. You know, there's a difference between being educated and being very well educated. Like a lot of Nigerians, especially with the Nigerian diaspora as well. Like a lot of the individuals are educated. Do you know what I'm saying? And I was watching one video with Patrick David. He's on Valuetainment, and he was talking about in the United States how like specifically Nigerians in the United States, majority of them are middle class, or the last remnant of middle class. Do you know what I'm saying? So in my eyes, it was just like, what the hell is going on, and why are these people doing such madness? Do you know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's scary times. It's scary times, because it's like, if Nigeria is to continue at the pace that they're going, without SARS, without the special anti-robbery unit, if they were to go at the rate they were going, they could become possibly the new China. But then now something like this happens, where people take advantage of that, and then they go and exploit their own people, and they go and kill their own people. It makes me just, it's disgusting to see. Do you get what I'm saying? So, like I'm aware of everything that's happening on the continent currently at the moment, just because I see a completely different vision for the continent and the way it's going and the way it's moving. So then when SARS happens, it's like, I'm not surprised. I'm just surprised at the level of madness is going on. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I know there's police brutality. I know that police, they take matters into their own hands. Do you know what I'm saying? I just didn't know they could just go and shoot up a man and then just walk away and be free. And this is not like in the United States where they pull you over and they do this, that, and then lie on the statement. These guys are literally just going, shooting up a man. And it's just like, it's really sad. Yeah, it's heavy on the heart.
Yeah, that's the case. And it even makes that, because it's all over social media. So you go on Twitter, you open it, it's like, it can be quite hard to take, but you have to educate yourself and keep up to date with it. Like, you know, there's people who are out there, you know, fighting a good fight. It's just crazy. I think for me, the hardest thing is to see the politicians just be like, well, only one person died at the protest. Like, my guy, we've seen.
So mad. I was just like, he deny what's happening. He's like, okay, so were we watching Nollywood? Like, I don't understand. Was the Instagram Nollywood? Well, are all these videos Nollywood? Because how can you just bold-faced lie like that at a press conference?
One person died.
Only one person
with his chest.
Did you see the video of one of the army generals saying that the videos were photoshopped?
Yeah, I heard about that as well.
He's bugging.
I was like, wait, what?
It's disgraceful.
Like, they must think that we're all dumb. Like, they must think that all young people...
I think they do. That's the problem.
It's not the 90s
just-
anymore.
especially
We
at
can
a
see
rate
it.
where, like, especially at a rate where, as I said, I see Africa as a continent. At this current moment, we're in the very beginning stages of just economically becoming superpowers. Do you get what I'm saying? Not just one nation becoming a superpower, many nations becoming superpowers. And then it just brings back that sort of situation of like, oh yeah, your country's corrupt. And we see what's going on. Like, there's first-hand information. Nothing is being skewed or nothing. Like, and then politician will come around and say, hey, listen, it's mad, but
It is what it is.
we've got to continue. Yeah, it is what it is. It's just like, no,
Yo,
we've got to
Buhari's a
sort that
devil,
out.
man. Said we move.
In it, he basically said, everyone mind your business, okay? You lot that are protesting, go and sit down, okay? Like, literally just so nonchalant about everything and not even bringing up the Lekki massacre and what happened, and like not even addressing it at all, as if it didn't exist.
These are the uncles that if we was at a party, I'd be dobale and say, hello, uncle, how are you? No, you
Yeah.
get my respect, man.
They had to chop. They had to chop, man. That's it. Like once they get into the positions of power, it's like they take, but they take more than they can get. So they can feed their families, but do multiple versions of that. I think I read something about their salaries and how much money they make being
the highest paid politicians in the world or something.
Do you know what I'm saying? And
Uncle told me in church, and I was like, wow.
It's clearly a problem in our country, man.
I could be wrong on the figures, but I know it's 5 figures a month.
That's insane, man.
It's 5 figures a month.
I don't think even
that I'm sure of. That I'm very much sure of. It's 5 figures a month, and then like I'm not sure on the particular number. I just know it's
a lot of money.
Between 30.
They haven't sorted out the electricity in the country. Like,
yeah, I can't believe that's
like, what have you done? Like, all these men, I saw a picture of all of them standing together. And I think I saw it on Twitter, and someone wrote, like, this is the squad that hasn't managed to provide electricity in 60 years.
It's a disgrace.
I can't believe Nigeria still has issues with electricity. Like, it's such a, I don't want to say it's a simple thing to provide, but it's a basic, at this point in human history, it's now just a basic necessity.
It's 2020 and Nigeria still doesn't have proper electricity. Like, when you deep it, it's embarrassing, you know. It's actually
they used to make the jokes about NEPA.
Our neighboring countries, like, are they having all these lights out things every day or whatever? Like, I don't understand. Like, what? Like, how can a government continue to govern a nation and not see that this is an issue? Like, basic electricity is not being provided to the people of the country. Meanwhile, you're sitting on what salary every month?
And you at least think they'd be competent.
There's deep-rooted issues there, man. There really is.
100%. It's just, we just pray for the people. Well, we are the people in Nigeria, but we just pray for everyone that's actually at home. In Congo and Namibia, all of these countries which are struggling at the moment or having their own issues, we just, wish them the best, and hopefully this comes to some sort of end, which the people can be happy about, because this is ridiculous. You can't be shooting up your own people for peacefully protesting. They weren't doing anything, and then you've just gone and done that, and then you have the guts to go on TV and lie. It's ridiculous. So hopefully this comes to some sort of end, and I hope they keep fighting the good fight. I guess final topic for today, and on a bit of a lighter note. Amina, I just wanted to speak to you, because it's no secret that I think sometimes them can't take the best pictures. Just with angles all off, lighting not correct. That joke that men don't know how handsome they'd look in pictures if they just did this simple thing. So what are some tips you can give to us? Because it's no secret, you look great on the gram.
Thank you.
So yeah.
Men don't know how to take pictures. That's it.
Well, what are we doing wrong? What's the problem?
I just gave us that.
Any girl that is on or has ever tried or been on a dating app will know that men are absolutely trash at taking pictures. Okay.
Yo, you know what? I'm gonna get Amina to sort me out then, because this is probably where I'm having no luck. I'm out of talking stages.
Like, you see a guy, and in the picture you're like, what's this? Like, what's going on? when you meet them in person, you're like, oh yeah, like what was going on with the picture that you said or whatever. I don't know, like I don't know what it is. It's like men do the opposite of what women do in terms of catfishing. So like men look better in person than in their pictures, whereas maybe
that's the game.
Keep the
women-
expectations low.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Expectations
You're
low,
like,
fam.
oh,
We got
it's just
him.
gonna be, and then next thing you're looking at a 6-foot guy. You're like, yo, what are you saying? How you doing? Like, let me.
had to drop that
sometimes
6 foot,
women
you know.
catfish, but you know it's okay. It's like sometimes you look better in person as well. I'm just saying, I look
That's true.
and but I think sometimes you just probably you might not be photogenic and you just look better in person. I don't think I'm photogenic personally. I don't think I'm
That's a lie.
I don't think I'm videogenic. I think I look better in person, to be honest. But I think with men taking pictures, you have to know your angles. Learn from us women, right? You have to know your angles. When you see girls, on Instagram stories or Snapchat, and they're doing a video and they're like moving their head like this or doing that, and you lot are wondering what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing that?
Yeah, but you have to understand that I'm really not on that. Like, I'm not on doing this,
Yo,
all
what?
this stuff.
Eman with the
Like,
camera, like,
Coming with
yo,
the
what's going on, everyone?
yo, what's happening? Yo, foot up and ting. Like, I'm not on that. I'm not really on that.
No, it's just no. You don't have to actually post the video, but like do it to try and see what your best angle is.
Got
Because
you.
there'll be guys that are taking pictures, and all we're seeing is nostrils or
Nostrils.
forehead, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, why are you taking the picture like that? Or they'll post the most weird pictures in the most weird like positions. I'm just like, no, this is not cute. Like, what are you doing? But yeah, you have to know your angles, and you have to know like your setup, your environment around you, and just like like just think about the picture before you take it.
The mise en scène.
Who
You can't
takes-
have dirty
do
dishes
you
in the
ever-
background. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make no sense.
How many times, like, because how many times do you take a picture till you've got the perfect one? I know you're not holding the camera sometimes. So what? Are you just doing the timer?
Homeboy in the back, like, can I go home, please?
No, okay. So most of my pictures, especially when I first started Instagram and I was posting my outfits. Obviously, when you have a child, that's what they're useful for, isn't it? So
You hold this camera.
Hold this camera.
My daughter's been
They're
taken
jobless, innit? They have to do something.
Yeah, listen, you need to pay your way around here, mate. My daughter used to take my pictures from when she was like 9 years old. She started taking my pictures, and so I had her to help me. And then I sometimes when she's not around, or if I'm with anyone, like my friends or whoever, I can ask them. I've had moments where I've asked complete strangers on the street to help me take a picture as well. Yeah, and then there's self timer where you just like put your phone in self timer and then you try and take a picture for yourself. But like I said, because I don't think I'm photogenic specifically, I feel like I have to take multiple pictures to get the one that I actually like. So as long as there's one that I like, I'm good. But it does take a few, rounds for me to take the picture. Like I envy girls that can just take a picture and it looks amazing, just one picture and they're good to go. Whereas me, I feel like I have to like take loads to kind of.
Or is it maybe like you have to take loads until you find the one that you're happy with? Like maybe the first one was fine, but you're like, nah.
No, I like options. I like having options.
Okay. So, she's on it. She's NSG.
Yeah. Yeah, literally.
Mum, you're not gonna back me up. That was a good joke.
She's laughing to be nice. I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, you man are the worst.
I laugh. It's fine. I laugh
It was funny.
Things anyway. So. It doesn't take much to laugh. So I definitely like taking just so I have options to pick from. But you guys need to start practicing. Practicing.
Well, yeah, definitely. We'll definitely take those tips into consideration. No, I'm gonna start practicing. I can't see myself being all up in the camera like, yo, but
even if someone's taking a picture for you, you gotta get someone that's actually committed to the cause.
Facts.
You gotta be careful. Like the person you ask to take pictures, they have to like be able to direct you and know. They've got to have the eye as well to be able to see. Okay, this is gonna work.
Yeah.
Gonna work, and kind of direct you in the picture as well. And also like what as they're taking the picture, you know, so you can like keep going.
It's very interesting you say that because I've just come from holiday. We went to Portugal, and Amar who's one of our close friends. He's actually really good at taking pictures, but my God, our friend Jay is just terrible. It's like his thumb's in it. He's like, move over here, and you're not in shot. It's just it's interesting that you bring that up, and it's important to have someone who actually can take good pictures of you and actually knows what's the best angles for you.
Yeah, and they actually want you to get the right picture because you don't want to.
That's it. Yeah, some people want to see your downfall.
Yeah, or they're doing it reluctantly, that their heart's not in it. So their heart needs to be in it. Like, yeah, I want to like help you get a good picture, not just take the picture and you don't even care whether your hair is sticking up or your pore is showing or whatever. Like something. Yeah. So yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. You've been so much fun today, so we really enjoyed having you on. Amina, this is your chance to tell the people where they can find you online.
Thank you for having me, guys. I've enjoyed. This is fun. Yeah, my handle on Instagram is _this is Amina, and Amina is spelled AMINA. And it's the same for Twitter, YouTube. This is Amina. Well. So, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, it's been so great. Like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. We recently started saying that, so
man. Make sure you like.
You have to. We weren't doing it before.
Made in Chafford, is that right? Made in Chafford podcast.
Made in Chafford, yes.
Subscribe button right
that's
here.
a big promo. Why do you keep doing that?
Don't know.
Hit the like, subscribe, the bell, all of that jazz, what they all say. But again, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
But,
cool.